around my time. So, welcome to License to Experiment. I'm Dan. So, I'm a principal security consultant at NetSpy. I've got 6 years occupational experience in web application, external network, API, and cloud penetration testing. But I've been licensed for now 9 years, and I'm an amateur extra. Started out as a general, passed both tests on the first day, and then got the extra when I first presented at DEF CON a few years ago because couldn't come up here as just a general, so I had to flex. I love chasing DX and popping shells. That's just me. I also do volunteer exams, and I drink the AC Kool-Aid. So.
All right, I'm Lucas, 14 years in the industry, run a SOC team, been an amateur extra for a few years now, VE as well, and I gave Dan the Yesu Kool-Aid. Quick overview, what we're going to talk about, how Dan and I like to ham radio, some of the basic questions we like to ask when we think about experimentation, expanding out what we like to do, broad discussion of some of the aspects of the hobby. The talk earlier today covered a lot of this stuff in deeper detail, so we'll kind of get through that quickly. Deep dive into some of the focus areas that we both have, and then some example opportunities we've seen that could see some more attention paid by the hobby.
So kind of the purpose of this talk is here at DEF CON we do 400 exams every year. The most asked question we get is, what can I do now? Our talk is focusing on the fact that your license is actually a license to experiment.
So for me, love doing parks on the air in the craziest conditions possible if I can. I think that picture there on the ice, it was -20 outside. Other one is a all-time new one. It was a new park that had never been activated in Canada. And then a houseboat up in Voyager National Park. Also love doing various digital modes and experimenting with how far we can go with those.
This is how I like to use my ham radio. I like to chill by the fire. And you'll notice there's one with a beer and one with a coffee, so it doesn't really matter what time of day it is. I'm going to have a fire, I'm going to chill by the fire and play on the radio. Why? Because it's less screen time. Like I'm in my backyard. Like I'm enjoying it. I love chasing DX. DX, if you don't know, means distance contacts, typically outside of your own country. Currently, I'm up to 68 countries. I got a little ways to go, but also I keep a paper log. So you'll see the notebooks right there. Why? Less screen time. Is it more of a hassle in order to, log with everyone else? Yes, but at the same time, I'm doing it for me. It's me time. So that's why I love ham radio. Now I do have to flex. That's my longest contact. That's from me to Perth, Australia. I can't get anywhere further unless they're in the middle of the ocean. And that graphic is not accurate because it probably went the other way around the world. But we don't draw maps like that in North America, though. So radio frequencies are controlled. This is how it's all sliced up. I'm colorblind, so hopefully you're not. But if you can see that one color over there, you can see that's our area, that's our area, that's our area, that's our area. Here, let me give you a better visual. So this is the band plan. So this is where hams get to go experiment. Most of it is going to be the general and amateur extra portions. The bottom bars are typically tech.
Sure. Yeah, and tech still have access to 10-meter sideband, and for CW, so Morse code on 80, 40, and 15. So there's a lot of opportunity here for experimentation. It's a hobby of hobbies. I think all of us have said that a lot of times today or this weekend. Virtually every aspect of the hobby has opportunities for experimentation, trying something new, pushing the boundaries on what's currently being done. Hardware, protocols, over-the-air exchanges, Just watching what's happening in some of the digital modes, FT8 to FT4 to FT2, so I think we'll get into that in a little bit, right? So really when it comes down to what you're trying to do, it comes down to two questions. Experimentation can come in many forms, right? When you get down to it though, these two questions, who do you want to talk to and what's your goal? The big thing with who you want to talk to is it's a highly abstract kind of thing. It can be a family member. It can be anybody. It can be a subset of people out there. Like, who is it you want to talk to that's going to tell you, or potentially steer you into what part of the hobby you may want to be taking into? If you're into off-roading, you're probably going to be doing UHF, VHF. You're looking for rugged equipment. You're looking for reliable communications in the backcountry. When you're looking at your goal for experimentation, I think a lot of people kind of focus on, I need to do something novel, something new, right? The best part with this is that there's a lot of personal skill and personal growth available here as well, right? If anything, that's probably the bigger aspect of the hobby for most of us. Certainly, if you got something novel to contribute, we love to see it, right? But yeah, and it also then comes down to like a sample of you. Do you want a little bit of test out everything, or do you just want to focus on one or two things to really deep dive into?
All right, so let's talk about the classics of ham radio. So there's HF. That's typically the general and up, except where we did show that the text can play on HF. So there's some opportunity there even at the start. UHF, VHF, it's more short-range things. If you care about your local community, this is where you want to go. I love my local community. When there's a power outage, these guys go around, they find out what caused it, where it is, and where still has cold beer. Rag chewing. This is just having conversations on the radio. Contests, hey, you got to catch them all. CW, Morse code is extremely efficient, still great to use. Fox hunting. You can chase down what's causing a problem in your house, or you can go down to the contest area and participate in the fox hunt and maybe win a prize. More on fox, a little bit on fox hunting. Yeah, we're kind of self-policing in this hobby, so if you find someone who's like causing a problem, everyone's going to try to chase them down and report them to the FCC. So don't be the problem, be part of the solution. So we've got every type of OTA you could ever possibly think of. There's summits on the air. So if you love hiking, there you go. You love camping, we've got parks in the air. If you just want to go to like a day trip to a park, there you go. Islands on the air. If you have a boat, then you have enough money to spend on radios. Get on the air. We have a get on the air station downstairs. If you've never made it to contact before, you can operate underneath someone else's license. Go make a contact and say, hey, at DEF CON, I did my first radio contact. Well, yeah, underneath the club. Well, still underneath someone's license, so you can't get on there and shout stuff. Worldwide flora and fauna, very, very similar to POTA. Actually, a lot of the places are the same thing. If you really want to try to chase some points, you can go double activate on two things, or maybe just go look at some pretty flowers. Field days, these are twice a year. We've got Field Day, which is the official event, and then Winter Field Day, which happens in our winter. It's not winter for everyone. Aries, Races, Skyborn. So if you are into storm chasing, worried about emergency communications, things like that, great things to get into. The expeditions. These are very remote locations. They usually require a budget. But if you ever want to go to Antarctica and have some very miserable fun and still want to get a lot of contacts, there you go. So there's digital modes. There's FT8, FT4. These are 77-bit message blocks. FT8 operates in about 12 seconds, uses frequency shift keying, operates down to negative 21 decibels below the noise floor. So it is great for high noise environments. It's great for very long range things. You can get a lot of unique contacts just off of this like mode. FT4. Same thing, basically cut in half as far as the time. Operates down to 17.5 decibels. It's great for contesting. Was it this year? I think just this year, someone invented FT2. That's fast. I mean, FT4 is fast, but FT2, that's fast. Now I want to know who's going to invent FT1. We're working that way. So here's the exciting thing. For years, JSA call. I always forget about that because I don't do it. But he made me put it on the slide. So JSA call, you can actually do like keyboard to keyboard messaging and stuff like that. Not my thing. So anyhow, the most exciting thing in my opinion is there's no longer a 300 baud limit. For a very, very long time, we were saddled with only being able to do 300 baud. I had a 9600 baud modem back in roughly 1991 when I was on America Online. So now, exploration in digital modes is more possible. We're not limited just by that 300 bauds. So there's also other things like SSTV. We've got a demonstration over there. This is how you send cat memes over the radio waves. But then, back to this, we don't have that 300 baud limit thing and more exploration in modes. There's M17, which is a new digital voice mode. It's built by hams instead of us using commercial or closed source modes that have been for a while, which is great. So now there's experimentation, exploration. We've got an open source thing that we created instead of relying on commercial products that we co-opted. And one of my favorite things is Whisper. So this is great for tracking propagation. It's not really communicating with people. It's just a great tool in order to see, like, is the band open today? How far can I get out? And it decodes to an amazing negative, like, 28 decibels below the noise floor. So that's what we use for tracking.
All right. Other area of digital, packet radio. A lot of people think it is gone, and it is very much not. On HF, there's what's called the Network 105. It's on 14.105 in the 20-meter band. There's 30, 40 nodes around the world that are up all the time. It's really easy to get started on that. If you got an HF rig and you have not done that before, very easy to get running. Many areas still have VHF packet networks. Where we're at in Minneapolis, you can see on the graphic there, we got a very active packet network. And then, Direwolf and now Greywolf is the new one that just recently came out. A lot of support in the software space if you're for packet. And these days, a lot of radios are coming with built-in sound cards, so the barrier's never been lower to being able to get into packet. Once you're in the RF world, there's many other things to dig into too around aerospace. Talking to astronauts on the space station through amateur radio satellites doesn't really need specialized equipment. It mostly comes down to the antennas, being able to point them. A lot of that gets a quality of life improvement, so if you're able to learn how to point those antennas, getting better, more specific antenna designs, a lot of opportunity to experiment in that space, being able to increase the quality of your transmissions, things like that. EME, moon bounce, one I've not personally experimented with, but bouncing signals off the moon and returning them back, talking to somebody else. A lot of challenges to doing that. The path losses are absolutely insane. Just have an example on there, 252 dBs of loss just from the path losses there at 2 meters. One I am deep into, tracking aircraft, some of the more less known protocols out there like ACARS VDL, high frequency data link. There's a lot of experimentation left in that space around optimizing antennas, building the underlying decoding scripts. There's a few that are out there that have been in use for a really long time. They work okay, but there's still a lot left that we're still trying to understand, like the specific kinds of things that are being passed through in those protocols. They're not exactly super open to talking about all of the components that are in those. Balloon tracking, Sound Hub is a great spot to be able to track the weather balloons like the Weather Service is launching. There's also amateurs launching their own. It's actually a little bit of a like search and find game where you can go and track the weather balloons and pick them up after they've landed. And then we'll talk about drones as well. So in the drone world, if you want to truly be legal, you need a license for the video link. We've widely contribute. The FPV hobby is causing an increase in license counts as well for people that want to be legal. And now with the new beyond visual line of sight rules that are likely coming, we're going to have a lot more legal opportunities to push the ranges much further than they currently already are.
All right, so this ham radio is the hobby gateway drug. Soldering. Can I solder well? No. But can I now solder? Yes. So we've got software-defined radios. There's antenna building. You can design and build your own radio. Thinking of antenna building, that's right. We have a Can It Ham contest going on downstairs. Go build your own antenna and stuff like that. So for radio building, hey, there's kits. Otherwise, look up some schematics, and there you go. Also, there's mesh tastic and mesh core, not strictly ham radio, but it's RF adjacent. And once you're into this, then you'll start getting into that. We're running out of time.
Yep. Okay. Yeah. So, quick dive into mesh tastic bit. So where we're at in Minneapolis, we have the MSP mesh going on. A couple of years ago, there were a couple of us that were experimenting with it, and ended up pushing through a real organic grassroots effort to build out a mesh for the area. So yeah, we're now up to at least what we have there on the map. I think we're over 900 active nodes every day, and that's just what our feeders are seeing at the moment. And we have members that have generated templates for contacting property owners, seeking permission to place nodes. We've had a crazy amount of traction on being able to do that. Standard node builds were developed, created to simplify expansion and troubleshooting. We got one guy who's been pushing to get a bunch of silos at farms around the metro setup. We call it the Irony Dome. But it's worked really well for pushing the mesh much further out of the Twin Cities area. And we are not using MQTT for any of it. Want to make sure it's all radio link stuff, and not having to rely on the internet for any of it from a resiliency perspective. A couple of the notable projects as more examples here on what can be contributed. None of these are mine, but these are people in the group that have come up with this stuff. Potato Mesh is not a project he built natively, but it's something we were able to implement. And so on the previous slide was this is the Potato Mesh output that we have, that you can actually go online and see our current activity on the mesh going on. We have Grafana dashboards attached on the back end to be able to see exactly like node demographics, average packet rates, or message rates coming through, all sorts of stuff. We have a mesh connected sticker printer. So you message that particular node, it pumps out a sticker, and the owner of that uses it to pack his lunch every day. And then on the bottom there we have a remote Wi-Fi updater. So a big problem is when you put a node on top of like a water tower or something, these things need their firmware updated often. And so we had a guy that had developed this script to remotely turn on and off a Raspberry Pi that you could then get a connection to over Wi-Fi to push the firmware update to. So had a Yagi there that was able to, I think he was doing firmware updates from a couple hundred feet away.
All right, so antenna building. Everything can be an antenna if you give enough power. So did I mention the Can It Ham contest? So here's some things. My backyard gazebo, as you saw in the fire pictures, it's actually resonant on a couple of different bands. It does great for FT8. I can hear voice pretty well. Haven't made a voice contact yet. Ladders, fences. I mean, just look at something and, hey, hook it up, try it out. KDMRD has a great couple of YouTube videos of him just trying out weird things like guardrails on the side of a road and turning them into an antenna. For actual building, so here's a simple, couple of math problems. The top one there, to make a half-wave dipole for the 40-meter band, 468 divided by the megahertz, about 65 feet. Start there, trim it as needed. For mesh tastic, since everyone's here for mesh and such, 915 megahertz. How long should the antenna be? Quarter of a foot? 3 inches. But why is that important? Well, if you have one of these and you're trying to work a certain frequency, you should know how big in order to make that. So But who's got time for math? Let's just antenna model it. So this is AntennaSim. There's been a lot of great free antenna modeling softwares available. They're all built off of NEC 2, which NEC came out in the 1970s. There's a big problem. A lot of ham radio software looks like it's made for Windows 98, and that's because it is. Now this guy, this person actually decided to go ahead and Dockerize it, and now we have a web app that is modern. The math is still the same, but now we've got a better user interface. He identified a problem, he made a solution. He went out there and experimented and made something great for all of us.
All right, 3D printing. Lots of uses for printing in the amateur radio world, right? So for myself, using an FTDX10 for POTA activations, need some protection around that expensive radio. There were existing commercial options, right? But they were expensive. So it was a great excuse to go learn some more CAD, expand my modeling capabilities there. There's a crazy amount of opportunities out there. So if anyone else has an FTDX10, there's the my Thingiverse link to go grab these protection plates.
I can attest the plates do work. I did drop his radio on a POTA activation with him. So, yeah, I'm that guy. So, development. There's a lot of room in this space for development. Now, this can be a great resume builder. So, there's a lot of great open source projects out there you can contribute to. And I know when I'm doing an interview with someone, I like to see a little bit of GitHub activity. Doesn't have to be the greatest thing. I really don't care about the content of it or the quality of it. I just like to see activity. Now, please don't go check my GitHub. Now, there's also the other side of if you want to make money, hey, let's make money. Now, as far as open source, I found this repo, and it's just a great list of open source projects that are there for us to use, and then you could go and contribute to these. It's everything from firmware, which, as we know, M17 is kind of moving in the direction of being ready for the world. We need firmware for that. You can go write some M17 firmware. Logging. Hams love their logs. This won't help me because I keep a paper log, but I still hope you guys help out the logging community because everyone loves their logs. Different modes. Who's going to make FT1? Who's going to make FT0? And who's going to make FT-1? That's what I want to know. Remote control. Other uses for software-defined radio. Morse code. Everyone loves a Morse code trainer. Someone's even out there writing standards and policies for ham radio. There's a little bit for everyone. And then education. It's great. Well, let's talk money. So this is the Flex. It's a software-defined radio. Samples 30 kilohertz all the way up to 54 megahertz continuously. Allows monitoring of up to 8 frequencies at one time. Retail price, $9,600 for the top of line one. It uses Smart SDR, which is a Windows-only application, but there is an iOS app that someone made. He charges $80 for it. There's also a $5 add-on for everything. So if you want to do FT8, that's another $5. Wow, we're getting there. But the problem is, there's no Android app. I'm an Android guy, so guess what? I had to buy an iPad for $800 to get an $80 app in order to spend $15 more on my add-ons. I'm just saying, if there was an Android app, you can make some money. But hey, you're too late to make money, because as you alluded to, here's Ether SDR. So it's a open source alternative to Flex SDR, Smart SDR. Runs on Windows, Linux, and Mac, which is great because I'm not installing Windows 11. But there's still no Android client. But they identified a problem and provided a solution. Hey, someone else did too. It's POTA. So this is aimed at doing the same thing that Ether SDR does, but for all radios that support CAT. But they're mostly focused on helping you complete all of your POTAs, so the POTA spotting is very, very important to them. But there's also EchoCat. So Echo Cat plus Tailscale means you can remote control your radio that supports Cat with your phone. That's some big innovation here. But still, where's my Android app? I will buy it. So, content creation. It's another great way to make money. It's limited. It's a very small but captive audience. So, hey, if you can average $100 a month, it pays for a new HF rig every year. But these are two of my favorite new channels. This is Ham Radio Chick at the top, and then She's on Frequency. They've been documenting their journey into ham radio. So they're only been around about 9 months to a year, but it's great to see someone experimenting. They're doing their first POTA activation. They're learning how to do antennas and all of that. The first time they've ever soldered, as one example. So they're great. Check them out. But hey, $100 a month, new HF rig. Oh, all right. So, this is our DC31 talk. It's now on YouTube. So, Ham Radio Village now has their own YouTube channel, so go smash that like and subscribe button, you know. We're hoping to put up more videos from the talks soon. So, for our DC31 talk, I accidentally found a vulnerability in a ham radio website. And disclosure is kind of a weird thing in this world where pressing F12 can make you a felon. So how do you go about that, right? So I contacted the owner, and they were actually very open to getting help. And so Lucas and I volunteered to do a pen test and submit like a report. No drama like you've seen in other vulnerability disclosures. It went great. But why were we able to do this? Well, because we had call signs, and there's a little bit of trust that goes along from ham to ham. So just by having a call sign, he knew I wasn't malicious, and it's been great. After all, hams helping hams is a thing. So what did we find? 6 high vulnerabilities, 3 medium vulnerabilities, 3 low vulnerabilities, and 1 informational. Took us 12 and a half hours. Really not a big ask, and we helped someone out. But that's the great thing about being hams. So and, well, you want to hit that? No. Okay, well. So, any questions? Good, because I'm like 1 minute over. So, okay. Wherever everyone else is taking me, because you have so much room to play. So go get your license. It's right next door.